Well, hey fans, welcome back to another streaming review, and today we're talking about Invincible Season 2, Part 2. So I know I said hopefully I would get the second half of this season review out early, but I got kids, it's hard. It shouldn't have been back up this far, but it has been. I put a lot of stuff in front of it and I shouldn't have, but here I am finally getting to review it. And the sad thing is, like I said, I did get the screeners for the second half of the season early. I like binged it and all in one day, and it's taken me months to get the review out. So I do apologize. I do apologize. But the second half of the season, you got what happened at the end of the previous season, where Mark goes to meet his father on the Thraxan planet, finds out, of course, that he has a younger half Thraxan brother, and then they are attacked by Viltrumites, and his dad is taken. So the season picks up pretty much right from there. Mark helps rebuild the Thraxan homeworld, and it is there that he realizes that Thraxans age a lot faster than humans, so nobody's going to really be around to be able to take care of his brother, so he's taken back home, which he does do. But and I still believe, after watching this season, and they have a whole episode dedicated to it, it should not have been broken in half. They should have waited until the animation was completely done. There's no need for this to be a part 1 and a part 2. I think it would have worked better as just a singular whole season if it came out at a later date. But like I mentioned about them having a whole episode dedicated to it, about why like certain animation doesn't look good in your animated shows, and it basically stems from like a lot of the actors are overworked. So if they don't want to animate a mouth, they'll have a character cover his mouth so they don't have to animate it. If they don't want to animate a certain scene, they will just pan to somewhere else and just have a voiceover play. They will have just characters float across the screen, so that is very minimal animation. A lot of stuff like that. It was actually a very interesting part of that. It wasn't a whole episode. I shouldn't say it's a whole episode, but it was a very interesting section of the episode explaining the cuts and stuff they have to make to get animation out at a certain time and spending less money. But we do come back to Angstrom Levy as a villain, and he's what I feel like he's just quickly dispatched. He is the main villain at the end, but their fight for me, it didn't do it for me. And overall, him as a villain for this season, I think was very lackluster. And I know for those who read the comics, I do think somehow he comes back like Palpatine. But like I said, I've only skimmed through the comics. I don't know exactly how that happens. But I would like to see them give him another go fully. Because I do think, as a villain, his backstory is very interesting. The fact that he was trying to combine the knowledge of all of himself just to come up with a peaceful way to stop the evil versions of Invincible, and he gets driven mad and is trying to kill the only good version of Invincible. I think, there could have been a better way to handle that story in general. But what I can say about, their fight in that final episode is the fact that Angstrom Levy, he does send Invincible throughout the multiverse to try and tire him out. And the fun part about that is, while he's in another dimension, we're kind of given like hints, but we have no idea how long he's in another dimension, because when he returns home, only like minutes have passed. And so he could have been in another dimension for a month trying to figure out how to get back home, and then Angstrom Levy brings him back. And it just wears him out, it tires him down, it makes him more angry, but he's trying to spend the entire fight to just calm this guy down and bring him back to Earth. And like, even his mom makes a great point about like how you built this guy up as his villain your whole life, and now it upsets you that you're fighting the only good version of it. And that makes me crazy. He like breaks her arm in half, which is very gruesome to see that happen to Mark's mom. But I liked some of those alternate universes. One universe in particular where he runs into a character called Agent Spider. For those who did read the comics, you know this character was actually Spider-Man. Invincible got to meet a version of Spider-Man. He's voiced by Josh Keaton, who did the Spectacular Spider-Man, the best animated Spider-Man series ever made. You should go check it out. It should have had more seasons. They need to bring it back whenever they can. But apparently, they wanted to be Spider-Man in the animated show, but Disney would not sign off on it. So they just had to create a different, Spider-Man-like character, which sucks. It sucks that Disney wouldn't play ball like that. It's a very small scene. It would have been great. There's a guy online, I can't remember his name, but he did reanimate that scene and just change the character to Spider-Man. And there are other characters who you don't get to see, but you kind of know who they are. There's a universe where he's clearly talking to Batman. There's a universe where he is talking to the Ninja Turtles. talking about how like he had their toys as a kid. So those kind of tidbits were fun. Again, I'm not sure why those characters didn't appear. I'm pretty sure like Warner Bros. And DC didn't want to actually play ball with Batman. I think they actually had to come out and say, like, even though you don't see him, because like he makes a joke about how like, so you're dressed as a bat, but you're a man. Like, I think they had to come out and say, like, no, that's not Batman. He's just saying random stuff. It's not actually Batman, even though you don't see the character. And nothing about Ninja Turtles. I would think it would have been great if all the studios involved just played ball and allowed those characters to appear for very minimal scenes. And the way the multiversal battle ends, you know, after the whole thing with Angela and Levy, it does leave, and I don't want to get too much into it, but Mark is left in like this desolate universe for we don't know how long. And he is saved by his friends from an alternate future or something of that nature. Like I said, I didn't read the comics. And it's like kind of a Deus Ex Machina as how he's able to get back. And they also mention the fact that, and this is the weird thing about multiversal time travel, whatever, they like, he asked him like, how did you know when to come back and find me? And they say, oh, we actually did come at a more future time. Yeah, you were gone by that point. We not like physically gone, like you wouldn't have liked what you became being stuck here. So I hope they kind of tie that back in later seasons if they get that far. Other storylines, Phil, you got Duplicate and the Immortal. You know, the Immortal finding out the truth about how the real #1 Duplicate never goes out to battle, and you know, they're reconciling that relationship. The whole plot thread with Alan the Alien being totally just destroyed by the Viltrumites last season. And I thought, so the one guy, I think they were planning like a trap, and that one guy was actually the secret Viltrumite traitor, but it turns out he's actually a traitor to the Viltrumites. He wants to help the Coalition of Planets, or whatever it's called, defeat them, and he unplugged the life support for Alan to help beef him up. So like I said, Alan in this, when he wakes up, he's like, dude, I'm like Jack. So he is now stronger than some of the Viltrumites, which I think is very interesting. And even the Viltrumites, I think they get a lot of good improvements this season, depth, so to speak. The one Viltrumite girl, Anissa, she comes to Earth to check on Mark because she's like, look, you gotta get this planet ready or we will kill you and we will kill everybody on this planet. And, you know, he's like, well, just come around me while I save the day. And she watches him do a terrible job at saving the day. Like, there's this thing where he's fighting this kaiju, and she just effortlessly kills it. And she's like, dude, what's up with you? And it does look like she kind of is like, well, he's a little interesting. Even though I don't like you, there's something going on there with her where she's kind of getting a little interested in, like, why he's actually doing this. And she's a younger Viltrumite, so that's an interesting story. You got other Viltrumites, because, you know, Nolan was captured. Apparently, you're not allowed to kill a weakened Viltrumite. They have to return to tip-top shape before you can fight them to the death. That's part of their law. There's even, like, one Viltrumite, like, clearly he's older since they age very slowly, but he's like, sir, you're my idol growing up. Please don't make me beat the crap out of you. Or something of that nature. Talking to Nolan, that was great. And he does meet up with Alan the Alien at the end as well. And before I forget, so my favorite episode of this part of the season and my favorite character, I think this half of the season, is a Rexplode. So basically, Mark is off Earth. The Guardians of the Globe are dead. Nolan is a horrible monster who's, you know, left Earth, of course. And so they have to fight the Lizard League, the members that are left. And so Rex is basically left as the leader. I think there's another plot line where a lot of the other members are on this mission to Mars or whatever, or something of that nature. I can't remember exactly. Like the stronger members. So Rexplode leads this mission against the Lizard League, and they get the shit beat out of them. It is wild to see how horrible that mission goes. And there's the shrinking girl, I can't remember her name, but she like tries to kill, like, everybody talks about how come Ant-Man didn't shrink and like jump inside Thanos and just get big and kill him. So the shrinking girl does this to one of the villains. She shrinks, goes inside, and gets big. And for a while, it is working. Like, she's killing this, is it Monitor Lizard, whatever this big Lizard League member is from the inside. But the character's so strong that she ends up crushing the shrinking / growing girl inside of her own body. And it doesn't work. And so as the scene goes on, of course, Rex gets shot point blank in the head. And to me, like someone who hasn't read the comic, I'm like, whoa, they just all die. Like, this is a horrible, like, failure of a mission. It's wild. But of course, Rex, he gets this really badass moment where he did get shot in the head, but he somehow survives and like beats the crap out of the Lizard King. And he goes on this journey of self-reflection, you know, as he gets healed. So I really did enjoy that character. So in terms of the score for the second half of the season, I'm gonna give it, you know, a 4 out of 5. It was a good 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it. And considering I gave it the first part of 4 overall, season 2 gets a 4. I think they really need to come back to form in season 3 to see what they do there. They've already released a teaser of Invincible in his new suit. Hopefully we get another little special television episode in between. That would be great to tide us over. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Invincible season 2. I'm still excited for season 3. Just, you know, do a good job and don't break it in half again, unless you're giving us like a lot more episodes. I'd like to thank you guys again for joining me for this streaming review. You can watch the full review on YouTube and the website, flipfrogllc.com/FlixFrog. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.